Hey guys, Marc Papeghin here. Yeah, I often hear like Papeghin, but it's actually pronounced Papeghin. Anyway, I'm gonna do this little series of videos, of making of videos, where I'll just talk about the different aspects of making a medley. And right now, I'm gonna talk about the guests. Obviously, the epic FFVIII medley just wouldn't be the same without all of these amazingly talented people who agreed to be a part of it. And the thing is, I'm just a fan of each and every one of them. Like, for some of them, I've been listening to their music for years. And I always have a blast, really, with this whole collaboration process. It's definitely one of the best aspects of making these medleys. And one thing that amazes me is that in the end, the FFVIII medley is one huge international collaboration. And it features people from almost every continent, which is like, wow, so cool. So the way I proceed is, like when I'm working on a specific section of the medley, and I know that I want a live instrument to be recorded, I usually pretty quickly have an idea of which musician would do a wonderful job at it. For example, when I was working on part 1, on The Man with a Machine Gun, for example, I pretty much instantly thought of SongeLeReveur, because we've done a lot of covers together. You know, I think we have quite an interesting musical chemistry. So by now, I just can feel which songs are gonna fit his style. I can feel which songs are gonna be perfect for him to add his SongeLeReveur touch. So I just sent him the whole section from The Spy to Martial Law, and just told him to do, you know, his thing. And he sent me back this amazing tracks, which had this very subtle and tasteful approach that he's known for. And they were absolutely perfect. So anyway, once I figured out which musician would be great for a particular section, I'll just send him or her an email to see if he's interested. And if he is, then there's actually 2 different cases. In the first one, I would like him to record something very specific, and I would just send him a backing track, a click track, and maybe some shit music. Like for the violin part, for example, that Medley from Berkeley, California recorded for The Legendary Beast. I just sent her this shit music, and she sent me back her violin track. It's as simple as that. And we proceeded the same way with 8-Bit Brigadier, the Brigadier from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He plays many instruments in this, the bassoon, the clarinet, the flute, the piccolo, and he did a terrific job as always. El pianista extraordinario HollowRikku, who once again blew me away with his virtuoso piano skills. Miss Shinainaru from Florida, a violin, viola, cello player who completely brought life to the landing and the mission. Beautiful playing. Eiko Ishiwata Nichols from Vancouver, who so kindly recorded the oboe and several tracks from both parts of the medley. Lauren the flute Liebowitz from Texas, the gorgeous flute solo in Fisherman's Horizon, that's her. Jinagu, who's originally from Shanghai, China, played the very cool harpsichord part from The Castle. Michelle Heafy from Florida, who sang on most of the choirs but most notably did a terrific rendition of Eyes on Me. EscapeClam from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who did a brilliant job on the Liberi Fatali and Fitos choirs. The very talented vocalist Fome from California, who provided some powerful vocals for Liberi Fatali. Muta from Japan, who played the saxophone on Ami, or Ami as we say here. Ami means friend, by the way, in French. Natalya Zarraga from Tennessee, who played the harp in My Mind. Beautiful part. And in the second case, it would be more like I give total freedom to the guests. And it was the case with Romain Greff, who is French like me, and who recorded the crazy awesome keyboard parts in pretty much all of the battle themes in Force Away, The Extreme, and maybe on Malayan. So I would just send him basic tracks. So basically it's just the drums, the bass, and he can do absolutely what he wants. In French we call that carte blanche, meaning he can record just as many tracks as he wants. I just give him freedom to do whatever he thinks will fit the song. And it was the same with Dr.Pez from Toronto, who provided me with some amazing solos on Retaliation and Maybe I'm a Lion. I also gave freedom to Stéphane Albanese. Eh oui, another French guy who plays guitar, keyboard, and the lap steel guitar you hear on Breezy. That's this weird horizontal guitar you're seeing here, which has this very dreamy sound. So yeah, I just sent Stefan a demo to give him an example of the kind of thing that I had in mind, and he sent me back this lap steel track, which was perfect. Muneyuki Kawakami from Tokyo, Japan, who plays in the first part, he recorded those insane solos. And originally I just gave him a few indications, really. I think for the very first solo he plays in the landing, I asked if he could do like a John Petrucci solo, because I knew he had the chops to do such a solo. Or I think actually I sent him some sound clips. I sent him a solo by Paul Gilbert, which can be heard at the end of the track The Door by Neil Morse. And just, so that I would have an idea of the kind of sound I was looking for. And he sent me back those solos. I was absolutely floored when I heard them. It was exactly what I had in mind. I also gave freedom to everyone who was involved in the choirs. There's a choir in the castle. Oh, by the way, this is my sister here singing. And the Fitos Luce choir, Liberi Fatali, of course. And the very last choir, the Fisherman's Horizon final choir. For this last one, for example, there's only 3 people singing. There's Michelle Hiffy, LadyReemz AU6, and myself. And there's about 40 to 50 tracks maybe in total. Now I know Michelle and Rim have this amazing talent at harmonizing, so I just sent them what I had recorded and basically told them they could record whatever they wanted. And yeah, by the way, those lyrics were written by LadyReemz, who is from Egypt. She beautifully sang the Fisherman song in the first part. And so yeah, Michelle and Rim did a wonderful job on this choir. I mean, the final thing still gives me goosebumps, even though I've heard it probably hundreds of times by now.
I saw a ray fly when I float under the sky. Counting machines pass me by.
Also, one special word about HatTrax. HatTrax from Pennsylvania takes care of all of the bass parts in the whole medley. So of all of the guests, he definitely has the busiest job. And in his case, I sent him a MIDI bass that I programmed, which is just, what I have in mind for the bass lines. But it simply acts as a guideline for him, because then he always takes it up to another level, and he always comes up with stuff that I wouldn't have thought of. And I think his bass lines speak for themselves. I mean, just listen to Force Away, what he did on Breezy or Under Her Control. It is, wow. Matt, you the man. Or as we'd say in French, mec, tu déchires. So yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to everyone who was involved in this whole crazy adventure. If I'm correct, there's 19 people in total. So yeah, thank you guys. Merci, gracias. 谢谢你们. Arigato and shukran.